Who's on that quick? So say hello when you come in. 2 people, 3 people. Who are my 3 people? Random people. Hello. Hi, Fadil. Who else is on here? 6 people. Only Fadil said hello. Who else? Hey, Deja. Who is X Latina 7X? There's no baby yet. Hi, Emma. Deja, hey. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Rosa. Rosa, it's good to see you. Or I can't really see you, but I know you're there. All right. It's 4:33. I will wait another couple minutes. If you guys are somewhere, if you're not driving or walking or whatever, if you're sitting down somewhere, you might want to get out your textbook if you have access to it, and turn to chapter 12 on narration. Hi, Angie. Angie. I don't know if Angie's in our class, but welcome, Angie. Maybe Angie Rochelle is in our class. Maybe that's just like an alias, a YouTube alias. So, speaking of which, this is my channel for my nonprofit organization that you guys are on. I already had it for the Everyone's an Author textbook, Rosa, chapter 12 on narration. I'm sorry. So I already had this channel set up for my nonprofit. We've got videos on here, different things we've done. We used to have a podcast. We got a few episodes of the podcast. Um, but this was the only one that was already verified and ready to go with a live stream. So I thought that I would just use it. Feel free to subscribe or look at some videos or not. I don't care. I don't really use it a whole lot. So just waiting a few more minutes. It's 4:35. Give everybody one more minute, and then I'll just start talking. Okay. All right. So hi, Jasmine. First thing I want to ask you guys is before we talk about the narration, even though I do want you to get your book out, turn to chapter 12. and get ready to talk about the narrative, I first wanted to address any of your questions regarding the argument essay. So, if you have a question, post it here, and I want to talk about it before we get into the few things I wanted to say about the narration. So a couple people hit me up about struggling to get their essay uploaded. What I'm gonna do now is, if you type a question, I might not see it. I'm gonna click and look at the submissions for our class for the argument essay. So, clicking out of the tab that you guys are in now, I'm going to take a look to see how many submissions we have for the argument and who is missing in action. Okay, I see there are 17 out of 22 people who submitted, which is good. That means what? 5 people still out there that didn't submit, but that the majority of you did actually submit your essay. Brightspace is acting weird. Stop it, Brightspace. I'm doing something. Okay. All right. So I have submissions. Okay. I'm going to look at who did not submit. That's what I'm going to look at. I won't put you on blast, per se, but I do want to know really quickly who did not submit their argument essay. That is what I'm looking up. So that if I see any of you on here, I can say something. Okay, got it. Okay. Oh, I got questions. Hey Alexandra. Hey Anayeli. Hi Emily. Hello Monserrat. So what I was just doing, I was in another tab and I was checking out students who still had yet to submit their argumentative essay. There are 5 of you. A couple of you are online, or at least you were a few minutes ago, unless you clicked off. If you have not submitted your argument essay, please get something in there. Something is better than nothing. Does not have to be perfect. Um, should be, as good as you can get it. But you don't want a 0. I am going to submit midterm grades. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I'm gonna wait until midnight, so I'm gonna submit it Saturday, probably sometime in the afternoon or even late afternoon Saturday. So get your submission in so that I can grade it and you can get some points. If you put it out in there, let's say I submit midterm grades at 5 o'clock on Saturday, 5 p.m., and you get yours in at 7:30. No, I cannot go back and change your grade. So get it in as soon as possible. Um, Rosa, I see where you say that you submitted yours yesterday, but it's possible that maybe you submitted it in the wrong space. Maybe you submitted it for the narration and not in the space for the argument, because I don't see a submission for you in the argument. So that is something that I can double check, or that you could check. Both of us could check. Because I don't see a submission for you, Rosa, for argument research. So double check that you didn't put it in the wrong space. Yes, Fidel, I see that yours is uploaded. I'm checking everybody's. But okay. There was also a question in my other class about the photocopies. So when you do your argument research essay for the second time, the next time you turn it in, you will be required to submit photocopies or copies, or however you want to put it, of the articles that you used as your outside sources. You do not have to do that this time. So if you read that in the instruction sheet for the argument essay, that is correct. keep copies of your articles. Email copies of the articles to yourself so that you can have them in your email and print them off and submit them with the second draft, not this first draft. Why? Because many of you are going to come across some better evidence, some better sources, some better articles, some better websites, and you may end up adding to your sources or swapping them out, swapping out what you had for this draft for some evidence that you found in another article. So don't worry about the photocopies just yet, but you do need to retain the articles that you're using. So make sure that you make copies of them and or email copies of them to yourself, okay? All right. Oh, Rosa, be safe. You're driving. Okay. All right. So if there are no other questions on argument, I know you guys are sick of it. I'm going to start talking about narration, the narrative essay. I'll give it 60 seconds to see if anybody wanted to say anything. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this narrative essay. Two things I wanted to say. Wait. Okay, Tasha, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. While we're waiting, you guys can turn in your textbook, Everyone's an Author, to page 180. Page 180 is a story, narrative that we did not read in class. It is a literacy narrative, a literacy story. There's also a couple of other stories at the end of this chapter. Okay, Tasha, I'm grading everybody's and submitting grades for midterm. But if you're asking for a grade before the grade, then, and wait a minute, are you talking about the argument essay or the narrative essay, Tasha, before I say anything else? Tasha, what? So you're talking about the argument essay that you wanted feedback on. Because you didn't, okay. All right, so Tasha, you already submitted your essay for the argument. I saw it in there, I believe. Only 5 people didn't submit. I didn't see your name as one that didn't submit. So it's going to go through the regular process that everybody else is going to go through, and then it's going to be submitted um towards your midterm grade. There's no time to. I mean, you'll get feedback, absolutely, but there won't be time for you to get feedback and then revise it and then submit it again before I submit midterm grades. Everybody is going to get feedback. Okay. Um. All right. Okay. So when you look at page 180, if you can, if you're not driving or whatever, page 180 is a story called Literacy, a Lineage by Melanie Lukin. And it's all about her love for reading. And okay, let me put this book over here where it's closer to my face. Um, and how her love for reading was encouraged by her father. We didn't read this in class. We read another narrative on Hurricane Katrina victim and her experience. But with this one, I wanted to point out with this one as well as the others that dialogue is very sparse. You don't see a lot of dialogue. So I wanted to address those of you who may be considering or may have already included dialogue in your narrative. Um, and before you submit your essay, I want you to pay attention to how you've included the dialogue, if you formatted it properly, number one, and if it really is significant, if it really is necessary. A lot of times dialogue is unnecessary. That's what I wanted to point out, that the examples in the book, you don't see a lot of back and forth talking. You don't that just takes up space. When you do see quoted dialogue, it needs to be extremely relevant to the point that it either helps to develop what this character, what this speaker is like, what they're about, or that it lends itself to the main point that you're trying to get across, or the lesson, or the moral of the story. Okay? It shouldn't just be dialogue for dialogue's sake. For example, I walked in the room. My mother said hello. I said hi back. Um, how are you doing? She replied, I'm fine. That is just going nowhere, just taking up space. You can you can summarize all that in a paragraph, without dialogue. So if you're gonna use dialogue, make it count, make it meaningful, make it drive the story forward and add to the the development of your main idea or main point. Okay, so that's number one. Um, if you look again on page one, there's another example that you were assigned to read, and it actually starts on page 190. It's called Liar's Poker. It's all about this guy, if I remember correctly, who works in this firm. I want to say it's a firm on Wall Street. Again, my memory's a little bit off, but it's a really good, and it moves fast paced. If I recall correctly, a lot of students didn't like this story. I don't know why, because I thought it was good. It's short, goes from 190 to it's not that short, 194. But again, pay attention. There are some areas where the dialogue is used in this story. The main story that most people like and that touched people's heart is located on page 196, and it's called The Look. It's about a guy who was an ex-con who, once he got out of prison, he went back to college, and he had a hard time dealing with the stigma surrounding being an ex felon. And you'll see again, not a whole lot of dialogue. So check your dialogue. That's number one. The second thing that I wanted to bring up for today's virtual class, it's going to be real short, is the details that you include. Do not skip over an opportunity to include sensory details. That's your sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. You want to make your piece as vivid as possible. You want your reader to feel like they're there in the scene with you. So if there is something going on that you want them to be able to visualize or um, feel a part of, the way you do it is through those five sensory details, right? So instead of saying, it was a beautiful day, be specific. Because your beautiful day may be very different from my beautiful day. Your beautiful day may be a crisp October morning with the sound of crunching leaves under my feet. That might not be my idea of a beautiful day. My idea of a beautiful day might be um, 87 degrees, uh, 87 degrees on the beach with a slight breeze, right? Or something like that. So that might not be the best example, but do not skip out on an opportunity to provide details that include sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, because it'll help to recreate the moment for your reader and make it a better story. Okay? If you say somebody gave me a look, what kind of look was it? Right? Give me the descriptive words. Give me the adjectives. Um, so the narrative essay with your wonderful dialogue that makes a point, makes a statement, and the details that make it really pop is due tonight in Bright Space at 11:30 p.m. Um, based on attendance on Tuesday is how I will know who participated in the workshop. If you weren't in class, then obviously you can't get the points toward the workshop. Um, are there any questions? Are you guys still here? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so the narrative is supposed to be 2 to 3 pages. And if it goes over, that's fine. If you start hitting 5 pages, you have gone too far. Okay? Start cutting down some of the details, making sure that everything really is aligned with your point, your lesson. What did you learn? Remember, your story has to have a unifying thought that the details, kind of revolve around. You can put your finger on what it is that you learned or what insight you want the audience to get from your experience, then that's how you will revise it and shorten it, because you don't want just random details, just because sometimes the random details actually happen, because since we're working from real life stories, you might tell us what happened that whole day, but some of that stuff that happened in that day may not go with the lesson or the insight that you're trying to provide. So some of that could be cut down. Let me see what you guys said. I included in Jasmine. That is a good question. You do want to get to the point. You want to get right into the action. You want to get right to it. Not to put this big build up and all this background and all this backstory, but to layer that backstory within the story, right? But get right into the action. Um, and guys, remember to do more showing than telling. Show me what I need to know and what I need to pay attention to. Don't tell me. If you can show me, show me. Um, Let me see, what did Danielle say? Yes, Danielle, you can rewatch the beginning. I don't know how juicy it is, but yes. Tiffany says she didn't get in the beginning because it kept kicking her out. Okay. So once I end this live stream, you will be able to rewatch it. It will go up on the YouTube channel. Um, so what was I saying? I forgot. I think I was saying that show versus tell. If you can do in your narrative, if you can do 75% showing me or showing the reader the details versus just telling me, then that's better. You want to show. You want to show how the people in your class were mean to you. You don't want to just say, "Oh, everybody in my class in fourth grade was really mean to me." You want to don't tell me, show me. Show me through what they did. Show me through what they said. Um, what else? Yeah, I'll post a follow-up announcement, but those were the two main things I wanted to say to you. Pay attention to how you format your dialogue and to provide really vivid sensory details: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Other than that, any questions? Well, this was an experiment. It's weird because I can't see you guys and I feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm trying to keep up with comments. But I guess it could work, you know. I guess if I did it more, um, it would get easier and easier. Ah, thank you, Gemma. Um, yes, quizzes for 97. There are 7 of them. They are due by tomorrow midnight. I see you, Danielle. Um, please, please, please do your 97 quizzes. Okay, Deja. Um, well, I'm pretty sure that your substitute, whoever she is gonna be live and in person with you guys. She's not gonna, or he not gonna be getting on YouTube live. And this was just something I was trying out because I never did it before. Um, but it would be cool, right, if I had discovered this earlier on and we had done a couple of these before. That would have been cool. Um, I knew that my YouTube channel could go live, but it didn't click in my brain to connect it with the class. Okay, Tiffany. But all right, guys, do your 97 quizzes by tomorrow. Take your time. If you haven't started them, do a couple today. Don't leave them all for the last minute. Don't leave them all for tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Do some today. Have your book next to you. Refresh your memory before you go into a particular subject like the parallelism or something like that. Go over it and then take the parallelism. Don't just jump in. Um, I didn't restrict the time limit on it. I think I want to say you have 2 hours for each one. I don't expect you to need 2 hours for them, for any of the 7, but you might. I don't know. I don't think so. But it's there for you. Um, wait. Ha, that's funny, Jasmine. Thank you. You don't want the sub. Can you do a stream after you have it so we can see it? Yes, Danielle. Yes, Deja. Right when you cancel class, I have a question. Where do we all? You upload your argumentative essay. You go to the module called, I think it's called argument research. Once you get in the module, you'll see a space that also says probably argument research first draft. Underneath it, in like gray letters, it'll say assignment. You click on that, and you should be able to see. Should be able to scroll down and click where it says upload. So everyone is going to get feedback on their papers. And yes, the quizzes are going towards your midterm. So if you don't do them, you're going to get a bunch of zeros averaged in with your midterm for 97, which would suck. What? Rosa, it's never too late. Not Tuesday yet. It's never too late for what, Rosa? Not Tuesday yet. Midterms go in on Saturday. So I need the quizzes in by Friday tomorrow, Friday. And your your 3 essays, of course, the summary response, the argument, and the narrative all in so that they can be averaged into your midterm grade. Danielle, if you submitted something in the wrong space, I can kick it out. And when I do, that goes for anyone. If you submitted something in the wrong space, I can kick it out of the wrong space and then send you an email that you need to submit the right essay in the right space. Okay? Okay, Fadil, I see you. Jacqueline, go to content and go to argument research. And then once you get inside the argument research module, you should see where it says argument research first draft. Danielle, check for what? To see if you submitted in the right space. I can check right now. I checked when I first got on live to see who did not have a submission for argument. I can check narrative before I get off. Okay, Tiffany, you got 3 submissions. Are they all exactly the same? Don't do well. Nice. Michelle, if you don't do well and you're 97 with the quizzes, yeah, it'll affect your grade, but I'm on a grade on a curve. So that means that based on the high score is how I'll grade you. So if the high score is only 85%, if the highest grade is 85, then that then becomes A plus, and then it'll follow suit. Okay, Danielle. Okay, you guys. So I'm gonna post a follow-up announcement about what we talked about today in the live. Oh, Rosa, you were talking about the class being live stream on Tuesday. So I can kind of perfect this whole new way of communicating with you guys. Um, I think during this time you're going to be in class with your new sub, so it would conflict. We could meet here and I don't know, talk or check in. But during class time, you'll probably be with my replacement. Shouldn't be. Okay. All right. Before I get off, let me go check the submissions again. For both, I only checked the submissions for the argument to see who had done this because the narrative technically is not due until tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click on another tab. When I click on this other tab, I won't be able to see your comments. You'll be able to see me because my camera is on my laptop. So give me a second while I go and look at the narration submissions and see what happened there. For those of you who think that you put the narrative in the wrong essay in the wrong space. I see there are 5. I see there are 5 narratives submitted, which is fine because it's not due yet. And those 5, Fadil, Jackie, Tiffany, Tasha, and Daisha. So most of those look good. They all say narrative, those 5. So that's great. So let me look one more time at the argument research submissions and and These all look like argument. I don't know about Danielle. What did Danielle say? Danielle? Uh-oh, bunch of stuff. Danielle, are you still on? Check that. Okay. Danielle, I'm looking at yours doesn't have a title. It doesn't say argument or narrative for the paper you uploaded for argument research. So I don't know. I would need to open it up, which I'll do now, and see. Let me see. What is this? I don't know. Click again, click again, click again. This is called, get out of here. This is called Ban the Box. Oh, shoot. Ban the Box. It looks like your argument. Let me come back on here. Okay, Danielle, looks like your argument. You put the argument in the right place. Yep. Okay, let me see. What are some of these other shouldn't be the title. Okay. Some work to do. Yes, because you need some work to do and we need help. I don't need any work to do. Can you check the argument? I don't want a new professor. Oh, Rosa, it'll be good. It'll be great. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. Best of luck. By Saturday or even before, you should start seeing some things rolling in with some feedback. Please get your stuff in. Like I said, I'm not going to be up till midnight Saturday. At least that's not my goal. So get your stuff in as soon as possible. And I'll be combing through and trying to catch everything before submitting the grades. We can pick a designated time if y'all wanted to do this again. But I don't know when. Like I said, it wouldn't be during class time because you're gonna be with my replacement during class time. So it would have to be like maybe right before or right after your class. I don't know. Y'all have a good rest of the afternoon. I'm gonna start grading, and I'll check in. Like I'll send an announcement, like an email or something, um, in the next few days, probably before class on Tuesday. Tiffany says she would like to go live after class. On Tuesday, Tiffany, just to see how it went? Yeah? Okay. Well, if I'm not somewhere in labor, that's fine. That's fine. All right, everybody. Ain't no tea to spill. Y'all go ahead. Uh-oh, Tasha, what happened? Was it a good dream? I had a dream too. I was trying to get the baby to breastfeed. Ooh, he kicking. Y'all could. I'm delivering in Oak Park at West Suburban. But I'll send y'all the details when I deliver. I'll send y'all a picture and whatnot. Or we can get on live. All right, guys. I'm going to post this. This is going to be up here. And I'll put a follow-up announcement up. And I'm going to get started. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.